Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Alright, that looks like it'll be good. How are we doing here? We online? We doing it? Not yet. How are we doing here? We online? Oh, we doing it? Alright, we are. Cool, cool, cool. I am just going to get some music here from youtubes.com. Just hit this playlist thing right here. Actually kind of like this song. This is a song I've been leading with every time. It's not a bad song here. So, we're going to play some Modern Leagues with... Well, I'm just going to play one league, probably, because that takes about 2.5 hours, so that is a reasonable time frame for me. I think I got the audio balance once I turn this to 30. Yeah, so that should sound good. Hopefully. Hopefully the mic isn't too strong or whatever, but I'm playing around with that, trying out different settings, and this one seems good. So what I've been doing with... Sorry about all that intro, just doing some technical stuff. But what I've been doing with this Abzan Collected Company deck is every time we can go better than 3-2 in a league, I'm going to add one of these babies, Quill Spike, to my deck. Every time we do less than stellar, less than 3-2, I'm going to take one of these Quill Spikes out. 3-2 is just a push. We'll just keep the same amount of Quill Spikes in. But last time I tried to do a Modern League, I did absolutely horribly. So we're going to take one of those Quill Spikes out, and then we're going to head into the play lobby. I was playing some Momir Basic the other day. Cool. And let's join her up. And let's play a league match. Cool. Won the die roll. Pretty lucky. Pretty lucky start. What do we got here? We've got the mana to play an Anafenza. And then a kill spell and Eternal Witness. Pretty slow hand. I'm going to mulligan this. And I'm going to mulligan this as well. Alright, my opponent has kept their 7-card hand. I don't hate this hand, but it doesn't have a land, so I'm going to have to ship this as well. And then we're going to have to keep a hand with just some Kitchen Finks in it. Alright. Verdant Catacombs clearly is going on the top. I think this hand can actually get there. Really just need to draw one more land. These Kitchen Finks will help us against anything super aggressive, and then this Collected Company will win us the game. So that's the plan here. Mulligan to 4. Win easily. There's a chance our 7 was good. None of our other hands were good outside of that. Alright. We're going to lose one of our 2 Finksers here. Pretty unlucky. Alright, I'm just going to play Verdant Catacombs and pass the turn. We're going to hold on to it for a minute. I don't know exactly what this cat is going to turn into. Hopefully, yeah, there's the Thoughtseize here. I had a feeling. And they're going to take the Kitchen Finks and leave us with the CoCo. That might just mean our opponent has a Snapcaster Mage in their hand. As they play a 1/1 Death Shadow? Yes, sir. Alright, Anafenza is not ready to come join us yet. Let's just pass. I am predicting a Scalding Tarn crack for Steam Vents, and then a Snapcaster Thoughtseize. Oh, Blood Crypt, okay. Still, Snapcaster Thoughtseize. Yep. This might have been better to not make a called shot against our opponent here. They're quite clearly going to take our Collected Company and then smack us for 4. Or no, they're going to smack us for 6, actually. Still winnable. Our opponent's life total is very low. We've got 1 combo piece. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand, so they might not have much interaction at all. And we've got a few turns here to kind of draw out of this. So I've got a Plains. Still actually don't know what I want to turn Verdant Catacombs into, but I'm pretty sure I need to do so right now. I think I'm more likely to want double green. There's more Eternal Witnesses in the deck than there are Viscera Seers, which is really the only black card. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a Temple Garden. And then just play an Anafenza. So it's probably not going to keep Snapcaster Mage back. Snapcaster Mage is probably going to crash in, especially if my opponent has a Collective Brutality or something like that. Nope, just a Lightning Bolt. And just to hit us for 8, and then another Lightning Bolt. Oh, they don't even have to. They can just crack their Steam Vents. That'll hit us for 11. And that'll be the game. My opponent's going to do some other stuff? No. They realize they have lethal. Alright, cool. Let's begin sideboarding. That was a good one, right? Oh gosh. Okay. Removal spells. Scavenging Ooze. Combo pieces. Probably do something like that. Revelark is decent against them. It's not super needed, but it is reasonable. I think there's a chance we just want Qasali Pride Mage. Like, we know they're either going to have Cage or... sorry, they're either going to have Cage or Nihil Spellbomb, something like that. Which isn't a huge deal. You can kind of power through Spellbomb. You just, like, keep doing graveyardy things, and eventually they have to crack it. So, I think we're just going to go like this. Just try to win with Scavenging Ooze. Yes, we'll play first. We'll mulligan a hand that can't cast Noble Hierarch. I'll mulligan another hand that can't cast Noble Hierarch. There's 4 lands in the deck that can't cast Noble Hierarch, which is definitely the upper bound of that. Our opponent's kept 7. Here's another one of those lands that can't cast it. We're going to have to mulligan this as well. And then we get a pretty decent hand. Alright, we'll put this on top. I really want this bird in play. We're going to use the Horizon Canopy to do it. I don't want... I'd actually much rather this Court of Calling get Inquisitioned because we've got that CoCo on top. Means we really want to draw a mana source on our 3rd turn here. Turn 2, we're just going to be drawing that CoCo. I mean, Court of Calling for X equals 0. That's unlikely to get us much of anywhere. Basic Island from my opponent, so their life total's still pretty high. Alright, Straight Wraith to get them down. A little bit lower. This is very somber music for a player that has just mulliganed away his entire first round of a tournament here. It's just a playlist on Shuffle Loop, but clearly some very sad things have transpired here. Alright. Opponent fetch Shocking. They're getting the Lingering Souls ready, But that's not really... Okay, that's a deal breaker. That's a game changer. We mulliganed aggressively to Birds of Paradise, and it got destroyed. Ah, Spellskite right on time. Come on, buddy. Come on, Spellskite. Where were you? Alright, now I need to rip 2 more mana sources in the next 2 turns. Else, we are getting Liliana ultimated. All my opponent has to do is tick that up now. I play a land. Tick that up again. I play another land. I play a Collected Company. Then they tick it up to 7. And then I attack it. So I really do need to hit land, or my opponent is on a faster clock. I can gain infinite life, always. Alright, that's unfortunate. Obviously super unfortunate here. Alright, well there's the first land. And I'm going to go ahead and not crack this just because we desperately need to hit that other land after this as well. My opponent could just go land, Snapcaster, Culligan. It looks like they are going to cycle to try to hit that. Alright. Tick up Liliana. They either don't have the 5th land or they don't have the Snapcaster. They're going to go for a Thought Scouring. And a Death Shadow and a Thoughtseize. Alright. Then they hit the land. And then we hit the land? Shit, we did not. Alright. This is going to make Liliana tick down for a turn here, though, so... We're kind of doing something. Let's get Swamp. And then Eternal Witness, and just get back a Verdant Catacombs. So if my opponent Culligans commands me here, I think I actually just want to discard this Verdant Catacombs. Alright, they're going to push this, tick Lily up, or get back their Death Shadow. I think they're just going to tick Lily up, though. Oh, they didn't have a fetch land leave. Alright, cool. Well, we needed something like that to happen, because that's pretty good. They are going to tick Liliana down here. Though they could have just ticked Liliana up and killed Eternal Witness. Seems insane. Just turn this into an emblem ASAP. Go down to 5 life points. I think we can win this game. Sure, they've got an 8-8, but we're at 16. We can take 2 hits, or we'll take 1 hit from that. They're at 5, Lily's at 4. Means I'm probably just going to go for their face when I can. There's another Temple Garden. Okay. And my opponent doesn't have Anger of the Gods. They don't have any counter spells in their graveyard. They could still have some like sorcery speed shenanigans. I don't know. I'm not super concerned about my opponent top decking a counter spell here. Maybe I should be, but I'm just not. They didn't crack their fetch land before doing this. Let's run this out there now. It's going to give them information with which to use for when they scry. Alright, Stubborn Denial as a hard counter spell. That's fine. That was not something I could play around anyways. So my opponent should tick up Liliana, kill Eternal Witness, put us down to 6 here. Yep. And then that should be the end of round 1 pretty soon after that. We shall see. Just need a little Kitchen Finks action. Alright, Viscera Seer is not going to get us there. because they can just tick it up. But if we can draw Viscerous here along with another 1 or 2 drop, Kitchen Finks, alright, I'll take it. So Kitchen Finks can chump block this. They're going to Lightning Bolt me end of turn and then untap and Snapcaster Lightning Bolt me? Yes, sir. Alright, good games, friend. Had to mulligan to 4. Both games. Pretty unlucky. But you know what? I like to get all my bad luck out of the way in one round. So, pretty unlucky there. You saw how the deck was still kind of able to claw its way back in. I mean, hey, we got our opponent down to 3 at the end there, right? Not sure I had too much to do with that. Liliana of the Veil, pretty unlucky. I'm actually debating, like, also for Tron decks and stuff like that, a Phyrexian Revoker in the deck. Obviously, Dice to Culligan's Command, Lightning Bolt, that kind of thing. I think I would mostly want it for Tron, so that I could name Ugin. Alright, we won the die roll here. We got a bunch of mana with this hand. That's what I like to see. Some nice, beautiful mana. So turn 1 Bird, turn 2 Devoted Druid, turn 3 Archangel of Thune. We can kill our Devoted Druid by its own second activated ability, not the mana ability, so that we can eat it with Scavenging Ooze and pump our team. Also, there's like kind of an infinite combo between Scavenging Ooze, Devoted Druid, and Archangel of Thune. Means you get to immediately eat all creatures in the bin, because Devoted Druid gets a +1/+1 counter from... So you activate Scavenging Ooze, gain a life, Archangel of Thune triggers, everything gets a +1/+1 counter, which allows Devoted Druid to untap again for free. It's like it might be a mirror match of sorts. Okay, it's going to be Mono Green Devotion. Well, they're going to have a tough time dealing with infinite life, and we are just going to want to get Archangel of Thune out onto the battlefield as soon as possible. They're going to have a really tough time dealing with that. So we're going to go turn 3 Archangel of Thune into turn 4 Kitchen Finks Scavenging Ooze, and then maybe we will even kill our own Devoted Druid there. And that'll let us eat the Devoted Druid. It'll give our entire team +2/+2, and we'll start clocking my opponent. So they're going to Stone Rain us. That does not keep us off of Archangel of Thune, luckily. And I think we're going to have a reasonable time dealing with the red-green Ponza deck with an Archangel of Thune in play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. We are going to have to use Devoted Druid twice here. And we need to either get a Temple Garden or a Godless Shrine. Let's just... yeah, I don't really think it matters too much. Let's grab a Godless Shrine. So Devoted Druid's untap is not a mana ability, so you do have to use it before you try to start casting your spells. Now what we can do here is we can actually just play Kitchen Finks, and then what, if we hit one more land? Yeah, if we hit one more land, we can gain infinite life real quick. Obviously now we need to hit 2 more lands. But no, we're just going to race my opponent here. It's hard to completely land death a deck like this. We're going to be able to play Scavenging Ooze here in the same turn. Alright, so we play all this. Our whole team gets +1/+1. Devoted Druid can now tap for another mana, so we'll crack this. Gonna go grab a Forest, and then 2, 3, 4. Oh, I could have gained infinite life there. Whoops. Well, whatever. This is probably good enough too. But I definitely could have gained infinite life. I had Devoted Druid, Kitchen Finks, Scavenging Ooze. No. Devoted Druid, Kitchen Finks, Land, and Archangel. That's pretty good. A protection from white creature. That's going to, I don't know, just be able to block Archangel of Thune. But now this turn, not only can we gain infinite life, but we can also deal infinite damage. So we're going to crack Verdant Catacombs, go get a Swamp. We're going to tap Devoted Druid, which we can then immediately untap. So it's the best creature to tap for Chord when we are comboing off. Alright, X=1. Opponent is tapped out. It's going to be infinite life and infinite damage with Viscera Seer. So we're going to sacrifice Kitchen Finks. It's going to auto-persist. After it persists back into play, it will gain 2 life when it enters the battlefield. Again, and then when it gains 2 life, all of our creatures get a +1/+1 counter. The +1/+1 counter and the persist cancel out, so it can persist again. So I can sack it to scry another one. Meanwhile, all of my creatures are gaining a +1/+1 counter, not just the Kitchen Finks. And then it's slowly able to go infinite there. So what do we want? Well, we're definitely going to face against some angry gods here this round. So, want to prepare for that. I want to bring in a Fulminator Mage in case my opponent is silly enough to put an enchant land on a non-basic land. I think even Mind Sensor is probably reasonable. I don't know too much about the deck that we're playing against, I'll be honest. I feel like there's Titans in it, but based off what we've seen, obviously Path to Exile does not interact well with the only creature that we've seen from my opponent. So, maybe we don't want to go all in on that. I don't know, Scavenging Ooze had 0 targets. Voice is at least something I can beat down with. I think I'm just a combo deck against my opponent, and I think the Revel Arcs will help. Obviously, it's a white flying creature, so it also gets blocked by the dragon. Yeah, I'm just not super sure what I want to be doing. I think Quill Spike is going to be one of the better routes to victory against my opponent. I'll just cut Voice of Resurgence. My opponent isn't aggressive. I'm not sure if I should just cut both and maybe put in a third Path to Exile because we don't know. You know what? Let's put in Sin Collector because I think it is pretty likely that my opponent's going to have Anger, and just having another way to deal with Anger of the Gods is going to be good. My opponent said in chat, what value? So I'm not sure what they were referring to on that one, but I am inclined to agree. This deck does spew out a lot of value. We've got the turn 2 Sin Collector, which seems really good. Yeah. So digging that. I'll lead with Temple Garden if I want to play on a fence. I'll lead with Overgrown Tomb if I want to just play Sin Collector. I'm probably, just for mana efficiency purposes, going to want to play Sin Collector. Our opponent has kept 7. We are going to keep 7 as well. And this is probably basic Forest into... Ooh, Birds of Paradise. Okay. Well, now that we know this is a Birds of Paradise deck, we can board in Pontiff for the next round. Drew a basic land here, so let's go ahead and play that, actually. 3 mana, Stone Rain. Yep, okay. So that's what the deck is. It just tries to Stone Rain you as much as possible. We are a deck with mana dudes, though. So hopefully that makes this a little bit more difficult for our opponent. But yes, this is point of the deck. Bird on the play. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking there. And then try to Stone Rain me. So, drawing a hand with both a mana dude in it and 4 lands. It's actually pretty good. So now we're going to see an Acid Moss. Yep. But we're still kind of killing it. I think I'm going to lead with Basic here. Even though it means we take more damage, it means that we will be a little bit more protected. Next turn, my opponent has access to Dragon, Titan, and Stone Rain. They could double rain us here, but we only have 1 target. This looks like a Titan to me. Oh, that is a Titan. Okay, so my opponent can deal X damage to each creature. That would be pretty brutal right here. Yeah, they're going to kill their own Birds of Paradise in order to kill our Noble Hierarch. Pretty decent play. Let's see, a Devoted Druid? No, but a Noble Hierarch will mean that Chandra will tick down again. It's honestly not great, but at least it occupies my opponent's Chandra for a minute. I'm not sure if my opponent just said what value in response to me gaining infinite life and doing a little infinite combo. Okay, my opponent is going to make 3/1s with haste here. Well, that is really good. My opponent either has a Stone Rain for us then, or maybe a Pyroclasm or an Anger, something like that, and meanwhile just wants to tick this Chandra up. Yes, they've got another Stone Rain. Alright, so land here will mean that we finally get to stick our first creature on the board. Unlucky. Alright, we're going to attack Chandra. So we're keeping Chandra at bay. It's probably going to prompt our opponent into taking Chandra down. I mean, putting Chandra down to 1 seems pretty good. No, okay, they just like racing us here. Hit us for 6 each turn. You know what? That's not unreasonable. So our best draw is actually Noble Hierarch. Our opponent not having a Stone Rain this turn, which I'm not sure how likely that is, to be honest. That's unlucky too. Now my opponent has a Chump Blocker. And they've got a Beast Within to give us a 3/3. Okay, so now they are definitely going to have to Chump Block with Chandra, except that would mean my opponent has lethal. So if we attack, they lose their Arbor Elf, but then they've got lethal. I'm going to pack it in here. I've seen enough. So definitely want Orzhov Pontiff. Not convinced we really need these Path to Exiles. They are not doing too much for us. The Burnt Forge Tenders seem good. Maybe we do want Voices just because they are cheap creatures. And you know what? On the play, Qasali Pride Mage does blow up Utopia Sprawl. So we're getting kind of big here. Taking out all of our removal against a ramp deck. Likely a mistake, though. We've got some insane big late game cards as well. We definitely want to play first. We have a hand that can't cast or do anything. Alright. That seems good. We're at least going to get out in front of it. We're going to have a Kitchen Finks out on the battlefield. I think we've got enough mana that we can make a Court of Calling work. So, hopefully we can get out ahead of this game here. put a kitchen finks out on the battlefield, then my opponent will blow up a land, we'll Eternal Witness it back, and hopefully that will be enough for us here. And then we're really just looking for combo pieces after that. I'm going to tell my opponent turn 1, or turn 2 rather, your first Stone Rain effect. I am not going to let you blow up this Overgrown Tomb, because that is our only black source. So that is a little bit tricky here. Waiting on our opponent to let us take our turn. Thank you very much. Alrighty, and we'll gain 2 life. Up to 22 Stone Rain on the Razor Verge Thicket. We've seen this song and dance before. We know what's going on here, people. So pretty much just have to dodge, anger the gods. Let's go ahead, smash for 4. I could also just Court of Calling for a Birds of Paradise right now, which I think is pretty funny. It means that if we draw a land, we'll be able to Archangel of Thune next turn. And then, of course, the following turn we would Eternal Witness for Chord and gain infinite life. Don't actually hate it. Oh, shit. Okay. Sometimes that throws me off. We definitely want to pay 2 life. This also gives us the option to go and get Burrington Forge Tender. I missed out 4 points of damage there. Hopefully it doesn't matter too much. And actually we didn't want to do it if we want to go and get this Birds of Paradise. Nah, let's just go ahead and put a land into play. Or into our hand. Alrighty. So, we missed 4 points of damage there. Oh well. Stuff happens. Opponent has 4 mana. That would be an Acid Moss if they have it, and they do. They always do. It's going to cut us off black. Alright, and we really just got to keep putting mana out onto the battlefield. Viscera Seer is drawn. That could be very unlucky. Though, like I said, we kind of want to make this into a Birds of Paradise anyways, just to keep hitting our land drops here. So, let's smash for 4. And then let's just chord for Birds of Paradise. I have Court of Calling for a Birds of Paradise before. But, yeah, it's not a play you see too terribly often. And again, if my opponent angers here, it will be a Burrington Forge Tender instead, which is also pretty good. Alright, they're going to go for Stone Rain. I'm going to float green in response. Alright, they are trying to get out of this combat. X is 1. Could just go for Viscera Seer here, in case we draw Anafenza, but like in a typical situation. But because we actually drew Viscera Seer, Birds of Paradise turns Viscera Seer online as well, which is pretty funny. So Anafenza will gain us infinite life here. My opponent is going to Beast Within Noble Hierarch on our upkeep. Nothing I can do against that. Alright, draw a Godless Shrine. Yeah, I'm going to have to play it. And I'm just going to run the Viscera Seer out there. It'll let us sacrifice creatures in the future. Hit our opponent for 5, down to 9. Our opponent would have been at 5 here, so we would have been killing them next turn. Looks like we still are, actually. We do get to swing for 9 next turn, so hopefully, theoretically, it didn't matter that much. Alright, here's a Storm Breath Dragon and then a Relic of Progenitus. So no infinite comboing for me. Devoted Druid is a pretty good draw. That means next turn we can try to combo. So I'm going to go ahead and just play Devoted Druid and do nothing else. Obviously, my opponent will just be able to sacrifice Relic of Progenitus in response. But if we draw a Kitchen Finks or a Court of Calling, we won't be able to double combo in the same turn, actually. But at the very least, we'll be able to play a pretty sizable creature. My opponent can't really get in there either, because this is the only thing keeping them alive. Oh, an Inferno Titan. Well, if that targets Birds of Paradise and Devoted Druid, that seems pretty frickin' brutal. Alright, it's going to target Eternal Witness, Birds of Paradise, and Viscera Seer. You know what? We can get out of this one. Scry 1, we are just looking for mana here. And I think I'm going to keep that on top. This will let me play Archangel of Thune. Yeah, okay. Let's keep it on top. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We yield to the ability now. We've seen all that we need to see. I think they're going to crack this and just get a Cinderglade. Or they're going to get a basic fire. Same thing. Just to keep open their Relic of Progenitus here. Me snap keeping that on top probably seems a little bit threatening. But it's just a land. Actually, need to untap our Devoted Druid first. Then jam this crazy 5-drop we got here. Alright. So they've got a pro-white creature. That doesn't bode well for us. But Archangel of Thune? I don't know, that bodes pretty well. Oh, Bonfire off the top. Oh, that's gonna do us in. Opponent's gonna just tap out for a huge Bonfire. They can leave open 1 mana to exile the Kitchen Finks. They are going to do just that. So this is going to deal 5 to me and all my creatures, put me down to 13, destroy my whole board. Kitchen Finks will persist. They will exile all graveyards with Relic of Progenitus, and then they will attack us for 13. That's Xaxes, ladies and gentlemen. So, Inferno Titan smashes in, Trigger makes him 9, Storm Breath Dragon is 4. GG, well played. All my opponent has to do is touch my face with that Inferno Titan trigger, and that'll be it. Alright, 0-2. Great start to the league here. Pretty horrible. This is looking like I'm about to play an Echo Zero Quill Spike soon. Though, like, it's not just strictly worse. Quill Spike actually is decent in some matchups here. Namely, anything uninteractive, Tron, Boggles, Affinity. Yes. We've won all of those die rolls. Alright, this hand looks great. Turn 1, Noble Hierarch. Turn 2, Noble Hierarch, Devoted Druid. Turn 3, whatever the fuck we want to do. All the mana in the world. With which to cast these green and white creatures, so should be pretty good here to do whatever we want. We're not too close to comboing, but Kitchen Finks means we are unlikely to die super quickly, and Revelark means we are likely to be able to grind somebody out. So just in case it's a burn deck or something like that, I'm gonna go fetch a basic. This leaves us without any black mana, but I would much rather have 2 more life points against something aggressive than the ability to cast a Viscera Seer against something not aggressive. Considering, too, that Viscera Seer isn't, like, super necessary to be cast even. Okay. So it is Affinity. So let's just go ahead and, I think, develop our mana. I think we're safe to do that. We will still likely get to hit them for a decent amount next turn. We would have been able to hit them for 5 next turn if we just slam the Kitchen Finks there. But now, like, I can just play Revelark and then start crashing in for multiples of 6. That's going to be a little bit tricky. That means our opponent might be able to grind us out. I think I'll play Verdant Catacombs just in case I draw a Viscera Seer at this point. Let's just cast this normally. I could have cracked this for a Swamp now to smash with Devoted Druid for 2. There's a chance that was actually even just better. But, yeah, we get a little punished here. My opponent's threats probably also don't just stop at Steel Overseer. The fact that my opponent didn't play anything turn 1 other than a Springleaf Drum means that they're holding on to what is likely a decent amount of threats here. We could just see like 2 more Volt Scourges get played. We'll Galvanic Blast on the Revelark. Alright. It's unfortunate. A no-value Revelark. Still makes me choose the targets just to BM me, pretty much. And then another Volt Scourge. Thoughtcast? No, they're going to activate Inkmoth Nexus before they activate Steel Overseer. And then they're going to crash in for a little bit of damages here. Alright, what can we draw? Quill Spike, well, like I said, this is a matchup where Quill Spike is good. So, my opponent also already used their Galvanic Blast. It would be nice to still have access to Revelark. I'm just going to jam both of these dudes, though. And we're going to try to keep our life total a little bit high. There's also always the chance that my opponent just doesn't know how this combo works, and we just win because of that. Which is not a high chance, and it's not a not a chance I like to take, but Modern is a huge format. This is a card that was printed maybe about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that at this point, so it's not unreasonable. Alright, Ornithopter's going to stay back. No, it's not. So Ornithopter's not going to be a blocker. They're going to put the Cranial Plating, they're going to tap their Steel Overseer, and they're going to swing with Signal Pest and Volt Scourge, which means my opponent has no blockers. This is not a lethal attack, so we are going to kill our opponent because they do not recognize that we have an infinite combo on the board. So I'm going to show it to him here. And I'm just going to combo off here. And they're now going to realize the mistake that they've made. As I slowly but surely turn Quill Spike into a 30-30. Could always mess up here. Alrighty, and that's big enough. GG, opponent. Alright, that's all they needed to see. I didn't need to keep that green mana floating. It was just easier to combo off like that. What's up, Kaleri? How you doing, my man? Alright, so we are going to board in Abrupt Decays. I actually think Fulminator Mage is reasonable in this matchup. Specifically because Fulminator Mage can blow up an Inkmoth Nexus. We're playing without Maliras in our deck list, so Infinite Life does not win us the game because we don't have Maliras. Voice isn't super powerful. You know what is good, though? Quasali Pride Mage. Scavenging Ooze, also not great. We do have to cut some more cards here. So we'll trim a little bit. Cut Revelark. Probably cut another chord. Seems fine. And I can cut a Kitchen Finks. Because like I said, Infinite Life doesn't just win it for us here. The rest of this seems good. I like the Quill Spikes, I like the Devoted Druids, I like the Infinite Life. We're not going to be able to get my opponent the same way this match, but we are going to, like, Quill Spike is still a good card. It's not just going to get him, but it is still going to be a threat that's on the board. So sometimes you can get free wins with Quill Spike, which is part of the reason to play off the wall or offbeat combos and things. This hand seems great. This hand we just blow up their turn 1 Springleaf draw. Oh no, they're on the draw. Or they're on the play, rather. Thinking like if we could just blow up their Springleaf Drum with Birds of Paradise and then they have to sacrifice their Glimmer Void, that would be nasty. Yeah, it's not going to happen here. But our opponent is not going to play anything too threatening, so they're not really clocking us super hard. Let's just go with a basic forest, keep our life total high. That worked out for us well last game. Oh, you know what? Did I forget to bring in Orzhov Pontiff? I think I might have. Okay, yeah, that's a mistake. You definitely want Orzhov Pontiff against Affinity. Just, like, being able to Pontiff this board here, even though obviously we don't have it, it's just fantastic. I am going to just run out Pride Mage here and blow up one of their Steel Overseers. Next turn I'll probably just Eternal Witness the Pride Mage back, unless developing our mana is a better play. We also have access to Collected Company next turn. But for now, let's blow up one of these threats here. So I'm not sure what I should have taken out over the Pride Mages. Probably should have just taken out a, or over the Pontiff, I mean. Obviously it's too slow now, though that's actually not even true. And Stony Silence is absolutely fantastic. So what can we do alongside Stony Silence? We can play a Devoted Druid. So let's play that. And now my opponent needs Wear Tear. Only if you control an artifact. Okay, so they'll still be able to use this ability. They're going to float a white to just be able to tear it immediately. Well, that's fine. It doesn't really change our clock force here. We can still next turn Eternal Witness, Pride Mage, and blow up Steel Overseer. They're going to get a few pumps here. Yep, tear. So it doesn't really change all that much. But it was definitely worth going for. We can always draw another Stony Silence next turn, too. And my opponent isn't clocking us that much. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe they are. We'll see. Once we blow up the Steel Overseer, our opponent will be hitting us for 5 in the air, 3 on the ground. We'll chump block the Memnite with the Eternal Witness. We even have Devoted Druid as a chump blocker here, too. That means I'll just play Viscera Seer, I suppose. Oh, I can just grab Stony? Is that even better? I actually don't know if that's better, because that will mean that my opponent still has access to Steel Overseer as an attacker. But it's a mana cheaper. Alright, I'm going to grab Stony here. It takes my opponent off of a few different potential live draws. So yeah, there's a chance that this is better. Probably is. So our aim here is to double block the Steel Overseer with Viscera Seer, Eternal Witness, single block the Memnite with an untapping Devoted Druid, and then taking 5 in the air. Next turn we will have Bird to chump block Blink Moth, go down to 2, so Collected Company will need to either find us a Kitchen Finks or something else. Alright, so we're definitely going to untap this. The question is, would we rather just chump block both of these creatures so that we could potentially combo off next turn? And that's the main thing for us to consider. So we're definitely chump blocking here. I think I would rather just trade. I don't think it's super likely that we hit both halves of the combo. Like, I think we're likely to just hit like Eternal Witness, Birds of Paradise, something like that. And I want to have outs for when we do that. We will also get to sacrifice this Devoted Druid to scry 1 here. My opponent has Galvanic Blast, obviously. We are just dead regardless. Okay, so let's sacrifice Devoted Druid, get a little scry 1 action going on. Land, sure. I don't think we want that. Obviously, we don't want to draw anything super good. We want to Collected Company into our draws. If I do just draw a Kitchen Finks, though, I think I am obligated to just put that card onto the battlefield. So, we'll see. Kitchen Finks off the top. I will just cast it. Path to Exile. Well, that is great. That is the best draw that we could draw, for sure. Do I care about Spell Pierce? I don't know if I can. So we're going to cast Collected Company before blockers, Path to Exile after blockers, once we see what our blocking options are. But obviously our opponent has to attack first. They are not losing life to activate Blink Moth Nexus, and they are gaining just 2 life a turn here. Nothing too crazy. Alright. Declare your attacks, good sir. Sounds good. That's what I expected. Here's a Collected Company. What do we got? Alright, well, we have Birds of Paradise. We also have Anafenza Kitchen Finks, which is... It means that if we had just kept the Viscera Seer, we would have been fine, but I think we're still pretty good here. This means we also don't have to sacrifice this Birds of Paradise. Always yield.
Goodbye.
So I can put this bolster trigger on the bird. Right. So I can just path this, take this, block here. Yeah, these two trade, and then my Kitchen Finks is going to reset. Reset's a bad word when there's a button there that I can click that has the word reset on it. Alright, let's make sure we do this now. And the reason that I am doing this, now I can activate Gavany Township, and my Birds of Paradise will be bigger than Volt Scourge. So that's part of my process. I'm also going to go down to 2 and then immediately back up to 4. Oh, you know what? I won't even... Oh, no. I do have to put the bolster trigger on the Kitchen Finks right here. It'll automatically go on the Kitchen Finks, I suppose. Alright, they didn't play their mountain because they already had it. Well, that means that I would be trading with... Oh, you know what? They can't equip that. There's nothing that they can do with that. So... Yeah, I'm just going to leave Bird back to block, and let's smack my opponent for 5. So my opponent could wear again. They'd have to top deck wear because my opponent is hellbent at this point. So they could top deck a wear off the top, wear Stony Silence. Galvanic Blast is obviously the best top deck for them. They're going to cast another Cranial Plating. Okay, they can't equip Cranial Plating, but they can cast another one. And will they attack into my onboard trick? They will not. Alright, so now I can attack with Anafenza freely because it is a 3/3. I think I can go ahead and play out Devoted Druid here. It means that I won't be able to activate this turn. It'll just bolster itself, so there's no sense playing it pre-combat. Let's just attack my opponent for 7. And you'll see this is going to be a pretty quick clock on my opponent now. They're down to 12. And then that's going to bolster onto Devoted Druid. The only weird thing I could have done would have been play Devoted Druid and then in response to the bolster trigger, have Devoted Druid kill itself. No, not Galvanic Blast. My opponent baiting us there, floating a red mana for as long as they can. Alright, Arcbound Ravager. That is a 1/1 that gets to send over a +1/+1 counter when it dies. But it's not doing much more than that. Okay. Rising Canopy is a reasonable draw. I'm going to play it and cycle it immediately here. Just to see what we get. That will still give us enough mana to activate Gavany Township. We've got tons of mana here. So my opponent's plan is to put the counter from Arcbound Ravager onto Volt Scourge. So all we have to do is keep open a mana on Birds of Paradise. They could also double block Kitchen Finks or double block Anafenza. What do I have to say about that? What if they double block Anafenza? That's fine. Yeah, okay. Double blocking on Anafenza is fine. I'm just going to go ahead and play out Noble Hierarch pre-combat here. Then I'm going to attack my opponent for 7 once again. They're going to chump block the Kitchen Finks, put the counter over onto Volt Scourge, and now I've just got to block with Bird and pump it up. My opponent needs a Galvanic Blast right here and right now. That's the only thing that's going to do it for him. And assuming, or because of the fact that they did not just cast it, I think it is safe to assume that we have won this one. not even going to attack. End of turn. Power up. And now, well, that's a pretty dumb draw. That'll definitely wrap things up here. We win the match. That puts us at 1-2 after losing our first 2 rounds in short fashion there. But that was a real deck, and that was the power of Quill Spike against a real deck. It just won us a game for free. It's partially why I do recommend trying out the whole Quill thing. It is cool, too. And I do think it is strong, even if people know exactly what it is you're trying to do with it. But, yeah, my opponent definitely got punished there for not knowing what Quill Spike is. When I play it, like, just weekly, like, small 20-person tournaments, I'll let my opponents know what Quill Spike is, and I'll just say it. Like, I was playing against a new player last week, and he was actually playing Affinity. Same kind of thing. I just kind of said to him, hey, the only creature he had untapped was a Steel Overseer, and I swung with Quill Spike, and he said no blocks. So I just said, hey, I think you want to block that here. Sorry, I get confused sometimes looking at that Keeper Mulligan thing. For whatever reason, it just doesn't work with my brain. So I just wanted to make sure I was concentrating there. But, yeah, I swung with a Quill Spike, Devoted Druid, untap, not summoning sick, into Steel Overseer as his only untapped creature. He goes, no blocks. I say, you might want to block there, Brian. And he thought about it. He was like, you know what? You don't lie to me. You're typically pretty good to me in that way. I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to block. And I said, good call. Then I demonstrated the combo to him. And, yeah, that was pretty funny. So what do we have here? We can Voice of Resurgence. I mean, I don't know what this means necessarily. I'm about to think that it means, like, eggs or, the Ghoul Caller's Bell deck. I forget the name of that deck, whatever we're calling that. But I have a feeling that this is some Ghoul Caller's Bell stuff. Alright, let us yield to this. Mindstone. Okay. I mean, I don't really know what's going on. I know Tendo Icebreaker. I have a feeling we might be seeing a little bit of a brew here. This does kind of look like eggs, but you wouldn't sacrifice your eggs yet if it was. Ancient Stirrings. Alright, I think they're going to go ahead and grab a bell or a bridge or something like that. Cart Clan Ironworks. Okay, never mind. So it's eggs again. Alright, so what can we do here? We can play Viscera Seer, we can gain infinite life. I feel like that's not going to be good enough. I think we want to set up courting for Archangel of Thune. So let's just put this into play. Put this into play. and then smash for 4. So next turn we will have just enough to do it, just enough to gain infinite life, but not enough to deal infinite damage. Just, like, I feel like eggs is, like, borderline infinite. It probably isn't. No, it probably is. I don't know enough about the deck, but I can't remember if it's just borderline infinite or if it is actually an infinite combo deck. So I kind of want to play around Ensnaring Bridge. So I'm going to go ahead and Chord and put Archangel of Thune onto the battlefield, but I'm not going to go ahead and gain any life with it yet. You know, maybe if I just, like, got a Scavenging Ooze, that would have been enough to win the game too. But let's just grab Archangel of Thune here. So I can gain infinite life, I can deal infinite damage. Okay, Emrakul. Well, Emrakul doesn't beat infinite life, but it does beat, it does, like, pretty much beat infinite life. It beats infinite life on Magic Online. And if they have multiple Emrakuls, well, then they can beat us there, too. Just gonna wait, bide our time here. Alright, so they're gonna start to go for it here. Start to combo off right, because they've got access to a lot of mana here. Ooh, Mox Opal's a pretty good one. Thoughtcast, that's sweet. Alright, so we're pretty much just watching our opponent here. But of course we can gain infinite life at any time. Like, the question is it better to do that proactively or reactively? Okay. So that lets them redraw their Ichor Wellspring. Oh, and they have an Ichor Wellspring. Alright. So here's the other question. My opponent is, like, nearly tapped out right now. Is Modern Eggs... Well, I guess if they're winning... No, they could still win with Ensnaring Bridge in Cart Clan Ironworks. I feel like they're not even going to be playing Path to Exile or anything like that. Like, their only basic that we've seen is a basic Forest for Ancient Stirrings. Maybe they've got a basic Island, too, for Thoughtcast. A blue-green deck is... I mean, it is a multicolor deck. But at least game one, I'm not going to play around Path to Exile. Oh, my opponent has infinite mana here? Oh, whenever another artifact you control. So now my opponent... It's infinite? Okay, okay. Yeah, just near infinite. That seems real good. Yeah, so I definitely should have just got the Scavenging Ooze. The thing is, like, I definitely beat Emrakul, though. Like, Because I can make a creature that's bigger than Emrakul with lifelink. I can lose all my lands. I'll still keep a few infinitely large creatures. 2 of them with flying. I'll get back Kitchen Finks. I'll lose Voice of Resurgence and Noble Hierarch, which will still leave me with a 6/6 even. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this is going to play out. I feel like at some point I am going to want to combo off just to make sure that I can. Let's go ahead and just combo off. Alright, yeah, let's just combo off real quick. Because you never know. Yeah, we're going to at least make him show us another avenue. There's, like, probably it was safer for us to grab a Scavenging Ooze here. Alright, now we're both yielding to the same things here. Alright. So now I have two infinitely large flyers. I'm going to go ahead and yield to this. Well, I don't want to win through the clock. That's a little scummy. I think we just want Path to Exile here. Maybe that will interact in some way. But I'm just not sure how my opponent kills us. And their deck is at no point infinite. Unless I'm missing something here. I know you can't Path to Exile a Emrakul. But Path to Exile, I'm only going to have, if my opponent does have an Emrakul. Alright, we're waiting for him. Clock determining the winner also isn't good for us. Our opponent has less cards, or more time than we do. Yeah, I can pretty much F6 now. I'm going to, like, yield to all of their individual cards. So I'm just going to yield to this. And yield to this. I can't always yield to that. Okay. Moment of truth. How does Cart Clan Ironworks actually kill? Like, I'm probably safe to F6, right? But I don't know. My opponent could still do some dumb stuff. And I don't actually know that I want Path to Exile on top of my deck. Right. A non-deterministic combo, I mean, this is going to use a lot of the time off my opponent's clock regardless here, but we'll see. Stony Silence obviously seems fantastic against this deck. I just want to yield to Mox Opals. Can I do that? Just yield to specific spells? I never want to respond to Mox Opals. Don't let me. So my opponent is just drawing cards here with Ichor Wellsprings, Mind Stones. They're going to get to draw a lot more cards. Eventually, they're going to be able to cast an Emrakul. I will concede once I can figure out what my opponent's doing exactly. But I also don't understand how they would loop the Emrakul. Because once they play it, it's in play. Unless they have multiple Emrakuls, once it's in play, it's going to stay in play. So if that's just the answer, if their win condition is 2 Emrakuls to take infinite turns, that I will concede to. Oh, that's on the stack. Okay. But even then, they need... Like, none of this is a loop. It's just a lot of value. But it's not infinite mana, nor is it infinite card draw. It is a lot of mana and a lot of card draw, but my opponent has not demonstrated any loop that would allow them to beat infinite life. So they're not conceding to my infinite life. I'm not going to concede to their non-deterministic loop. And I think that that's reasonable of me. I'm assuming that this is going to happen for a while. We're going to have this ragtime music play in the background, and then eventually just No Lex Given has won the match, or won the game, is going to pop up. Eventually has won the match, but No Lex Given has won the game is going to pop up on the screen. So right now they can, like, sacrifice Mind Stone, go and get their opals. Oh, the opals are already in their hand. All right, here comes the Spaghetti Monster. I think we still beat Spaghetti. They decided not to do it. They're going to go for a chromatic sphere beforehand. All right. Would I concede to Spaghetti and then post-combat? Oh, that looks bigger than Spaghetti. Is this going to make me draw my whole deck? No, it's a Hangerback Walker. Oh, they're going to make... All right. Oh, and then Sanctum of Ugin is going to trigger. But they put all of their mana into that Hangerback Walker. X equals 12. That's going to get them 12 1/1 chump blockers here. Alright, Scrap Trawlers, they don't get to return anything with those. Hangerback Walker, they've got 12 1/1 flyers. That's also like a shitload of mana. As they just slowly sacrifice these flyers. What did they get with that? An Emrakul? Yes, okay. So here comes the Emrakul. That's pretty crazy. To Hangerback Walker. Wait, it doesn't even generate mana. It generates the same amount of mana that it costs, but it means with Sanctum of Ugin they get to tutor up Emrakul. Alright, so they get to take an extra turn. Sorry, dudes, but I still don't see it.
No, kid. You and I have just become the first four-wheeled motorcycle team in history.
I can gain more life points if I need to, but I'm going to need to see another Emrakul and then some from my opponent to concede here. Oh, I'm going to make them sacrifice their Emrakul if I block it. Oh, so I just don't block it. So I want to not block Emrakul here. I'm going to keep my infinite combo plus 1 mana in case Path to Exile is relevant. This is also potentially an infinitely large creature, should we need it to be. Yeah, I'm just going to take 15 here. I'm at 61, so I'll go to 46. Oh, but next turn my opponent will get 2 more Annihilator triggers. Oh, I should have sacrificed Kitchen Finks. I just wasn't paying attention.
Good. Easy for you to say. They got perks from Kid. Goliath's our last chance to stop them. Oh, their last chance to stop
Oh, does that cost me the game? You know what? I think I actually did need it. So I get it now. Because my opponent has enough chump blockers. Right? Yeah, they've got 5 chump blockers. So I'm going to lose all of my creatures next turn. So I actually did need to block Emrakul. Alright, so we lose. I can draw any card in my deck, but I swing, they chump block all of them, then they attack with Emrakul, and then I lose all my stuff. So there's 2 things I could have done there. I could have blocked Emrakul, which at least would have made them try to find it again. So that's what I should have done. Good Mind Sensor. Seems okay, but not great. Definitely want Quasali Pride Mage, Abrupt Decay. Fulminator seems fine. Sin Collector I don't think does anything. This seems good. Path to Exiles also get their 3/2, which gives them a lot of value, but I'm not sure we need that either. I think we just want to hit them for infinite damage as soon as we can. I don't think Spellskite does anything. Oh, you know what? Voices of Resurgence are bad. Those don't do anything either. Viscera Seer and Anafenza are potentially relevant. Oh, you know what? This is probably pretty good. You don't think they would deck themselves eventually, Kaleri? Because once Emrakul's in place, so if I just gain, 700 trillion life, eventually they would deck themselves. Because they would not be able to do anything. I think I would kill them like that in paper. And just infinite life does beat them. Yeah, they have Emrakul, but if their Emrakul's in play, it can't reshuffle. So they would need to find a way to kill their Emrakul. Yeah, they'd need a second Emrakul. If they have a second Emrakul, though, they could have just taken infinite turns right then and there. Which maybe then they were just playing for their time on their clock. Sack it. Okay, so this just draws a card. I'm going to go ahead and play a Druid out first. Smack for 1. Yeah, there was probably a way. It was weird because their combo's non-deterministic to Pyroclasm. Alright, we are going to be scrying a little bit here then. I don't even know exactly what we want here. Kitchen Fink seems fine. Land also seems good. I think I just want to go for a Stony Silence, though. Abrupt Decay seems good, though. I'll take Decay. Decay obviously doesn't interact with Ironworks, so it's a little bit slow in that regard. But it's mostly pretty good. And Kitchen Finks doesn't really do anything other than just give us a 3-drop, 3-attack creature to play. Alright, well that we are definitely going to be Abrupt Decaying. Probably just going to Abrupt Decay that and eat it with Scavenging Ooze on our turn. I am going to pay the life here because I just want to get aggressive. My life total doesn't matter. Theirs does. And they played this out early enough that it doesn't even have anything it can return yet. I'm going to go ahead and eat it main phase and then smack for 4. Scavenging Ooze is likely to be a pretty strong card against their deck in general. Yeah, Cart Clan, that's pretty good. Alright, I'm probably... They can't kill us here, right? No, they're out of mana. Yeah, they can go for it. Oh, they can sack Darksteel Citadel. That's pretty insane. I have a feeling I'm just going to be leaving open Scavenging Ooze here. Oh, shit. That's pretty good. Maybe I should have just left them open to begin with. Thought it was worth going for a little bit more of an aggressive play here. I'm F6'd, so I don't have to do anything more. I think to return the Darksteel Citadel when they lose their Chromatic Star, right? Yeah, that's pretty funny. I can't remember if they hit their land drop or not for the turn, but it's pretty sweet. I think they did hit their land drop, but I'm not super sure. Ancient Stirrings, that could be a bad one. I'm pretty sure this is copywritten. This sounds like a copyrighted. Yeah, that's copyrighted music. I don't know who they're trying to fool there. They like had a little bit of a distortion on it, but looks like we might just be getting humiliated here. This is going to be really hard to disrupt with just one Scavenging Ooze anyways. Does this target? Alright, so this does target, so could have canceled like one of their draw effects, and maybe canceling one of those early on would have been enough. Alright, well that's redundant. Oh, it's just, they're just using it for mana. If they have to play a Cart Clan Ironworks, oh, it does let them go and get back an Ichor Wellspring. Wow, this deck's got some crazy shit going on in it. That gets Ichor Wellspring, then Ichor Wellspring draws 3 cards effectively because it can go and get a Tarion, which draws a card, and it draws 2 cards itself. And it also almost generates mana. You lose 1 mana by playing a Cart Clan Ironwork, so, but you gain 3 cards, so 1 mana, draw 3. Is pretty good throughout the history of Magic. If you can pay 1 mana to draw 3 cards, yeah, it's going to find them like a Mox Opal, some other stuff. Is this another Ancient Stirrings? At this point, we're just watching my opponent combo. Going to talk through it here a little bit, but we're just getting a look at a cool new Modern combo deck, because as long as I've been playing Modern, this deck, I mean, obviously this deck is brand new. It's using this card, which just got printed in Aether Revolt, I believe that set symbol is. And it's kind of a linchpin of the deck. It draws you a lot of cards for a 3-mana creature, which is why I boarded in the Abrupt Decays, but... Alright, Grafdigger's Cage. And then they're gonna sacrifice the Grafdigger's Cage. Well, that's just BM. To throw out a Grafdigger's Cage and then just throw it away? Psh. White mana means we could be seeing a Path to Exile. Blue mana, I assume her Thoughtcast would come eventually, but doesn't really look like my opponent's doing that either. So my opponent has the mana to cast Emrakul now, and yeah, they're just going to go ahead and cast it. I think for the most part, Emrakul is better than some infinite combos because my opponent didn't have to, like, go through their entire deck to kill me here. They just had to go and grab an Emrakul. And that's enough to kill me. But, yeah, in paper, I would have won game 1. Which is some kind of consolation. Not a huge one. Alright, so we lost again. Let's take out all the quill spikes when we play for next time. That's going to be the end of my modern leagues here, though. So I'm going to close out a Magic Online. If I can win 2 games in a row in ranked, I get to open up a gold chest. Seems like a pretty sweet deal. Let's try to win 2 games of Eternal in a row. Oh, have I been streaming Eternal this entire time? Well, that makes sense. This hand is fine. Yeah, I've just been sitting on the Eternal page on Twitch, just streaming Magic Online. Oh well. Whoopsie daisies. Alright, well, I'd much rather devour a Dark Wisp than one of these other cards here, so I'm just going to play Dark Wisp, and I might just Thorn Beast it next turn even. Luna Hearthstone there, just get some daily questers out of the way. Alright, Oni Ronin. Charge still doesn't seem great. Warcry 2 I guess is okay, but I mean, I'll still just block this dude. And flying, alright. Well, now they can attack with it. That's pretty threatening now, actually. Alright. We'll attack with these. I'm just going to play a Thorn Beast and draw 1 card. Done my turn regardless. Alright, Oblivion Spike can kill this in 2 turns. And live to tell the tale, which is sweet. But they're going to have a 5 Warcry thing by the time I find that out. Alright, well that doesn't do anything. Just kills a 1/1. Kill a unit with a single faction. Well, that'll do it. Let's kill my opponent's weapon real quick. I'm just not sure. So, I can annihilate this, but I can also just annihilate whatever they've Warcried. And I think I'd rather just save my Annihilate, considering Oblivion Spike. I mean, now at this point, I'm all in. Like, at this point now, I just have to annihilate whatever it is they play. And it's an Aegis creature. Okay. Well, that's a little bit unlucky. Let's see if I can draw a Lightning Bolt or something like that in 3 draws here. No, not quite. Okay. Well, you know what I can do? I can Oblivion Spike this guy in the air. And now they need to give this flying or additional toughness, or I can just double block it. Then that'll give me a 5 attack weapon to clear their next attacker. Oh god, they had it. Alright, well now I just need to draw a lightning bolt, and I've got 1 turn to do it. Alright. Draw a lightning bolt. Okay, so I'm not dead, because that gained me life points, actually. Let's smash for 5. Then play 3 blockers here. Maybe this was bad. Okay, yeah. I figured they probably won't attack with this guy into 3/1/1s anyways. But Lightning Bolt, there's also the sacrifice a creature to kill something. Just going to silence that. This is now lethal too. Alrighty. Well, that wasn't a huge deal. We need to win 2 games in a row. So, the first game doesn't matter as much. But once we've won a game, then we want to win a game. Is basically basically the point of all this here. Alright, this hand looks pretty good. We do need a 3rd mana. But short of that, we've got 1 removal spell, 2 threats. Alright, it's our 3rd mana. Need another block mana too, but pretty decent. Alright, Temple Scribe. That's fine. So, like, I'm debating waiting on the Thorn Beast until I can get the Soul Collector into play. That might just take too long. I think we're going to be better off if we can just play some creatures quicker. So my opponent's echoed once or twice here. So they got some monsters hiding away. Permafrost. Alright, a little bit unlucky. But not super unlucky. Can free my beast from his frost right now. Get him in the graveyard so that we can draw him back. Alright, Sandstorm Titan. Sounds good. Yeah. Then let's smash for 7. Got 2 torches here, so potentially do some end-step torch action. If my opponent plays like a 2/1 flyer, I think at this point I will start torching those. Because I get in a lot of damage by attacking here. If my opponent plays another Sandy Titan, well, I think I'm going to double torch that end of turn. My opponent instead plays nothing. Alright, let's do this. Yep. So I didn't know exactly what my opponent was going to be up to. Obviously, they had some mana open. This lets our Soul Collector grow a little bit. Alright, and then they're going to Echo once more. So my opponent could just start slamming 5/4s here. Or 6/5, or 5/6 flyers, rather. That seems good as well. I don't know, I'm kind of out of gas. My opponent has 3 of these. What happens if I attack with all 3 of my creatures? I put my opponent down to 10. What happens if I torch this twice? Then attack with all 3 of these. I put my opponent down to... They're probably just going to chump block this. Put them down to 10 with Kill a Dragon. Alright, let's do this. Leaves me the opportunity to just draw a kill spell next turn. I think this is my best route to victory. I think my opponent should chump block my Soul Collector here. They don't. That means we're going to be able to tempo them out. They play a dragon, we swing, we hit them down to 2. Then they play another dragon, we swing, hit them down to 0. I guess they can always block this Soul Collector with the ground guy now. But we definitely go for it, considering they didn't chump block it last turn. Okay, they go for it here. Yeah, that means we still have Soul Collector. My opponent stays at 4. Though now Soul Collector's a 6/6. Oh, that was actually perfectly fine for us then. Opponent has an Aegis, and then we'll then play another 5/6. Alright, well that's a decent draw for the late game. If I swing with both of these, I think my opponent will have to take themselves down to 2 here and trade a dragon for our Soul Collector. Yeah, they're going to double block. So we put them down to 2. This buys us a lot of time, which should buy us enough time that Vara will win us the game eventually here. Alright, so they do have 2 more dragons in their hand. I think we're just looking for sigils at this point. Yeah. Especially sigil over a 1/1. So next turn we can draw Vara, get back Soul Collector, or we can just start getting back our Slumbering Stones. Alright, well that's fine. That means my opponent's going to bring on the Beatdown and continue to play some dragons. Oh, that's so unlucky. Yeah, I think we're pretty much dead here then. And play this so that they have to keep back a blocker. But that doesn't really even change their clock. Plus, I think they've got another dragon in their hand even still. No, they don't. Okay. But like I said, it doesn't change their clock. It would mean that if we drew an untapped sigil, we'd be able to stabilize here, but we drew a tapped sigil. We can potentially scare them by just not playing the last card, but we have to play that sigil. Yeah. They're not going to play around anything. They're just going to attack. And they're going to beat us. It was closer than it looked at the end. I mean, obviously we got our opponent down to 2. But there were ways that we could have won that game. Hearthstone is just not loading for me today, which is weird. I don't know if I'll have to uninstall or something, but...
Here, have a seat. You must be ravenous.
Alright, there we go. There's Hearthstone. Just curious what my daily quest is in Hearthstone, and it is Priest or Warlock Victory. Druid or Rogue Victory. Okay. Nothing particularly jumping out at me. So don't really have to clear that today. What I've been noticing about Eternal Daily Quests, there's 2 tiers of daily quests. Silver Chest, and Gold Chest. And it seems like the sooner you clear out the Gold Chest rewards... Dark Wisp is kind of reasonable here. I'm just going to go Scrap Tank, though. Sooner you clear out Gold Chest rewards, the more likely you are to get them again in the future. That could be totally off base, but it feels real to me. This does leave us with a lot of 4-drops and no 5-drops, but my opponent is likely playing the, well, I mean, pretty clearly, yeah, they're just playing an all-in weapon deck. I found this deck to be a little bit tough to deal with. It's pretty much just a control deck. Weapons gain you back life, and then it's got some pretty good late game action. They play that huge legendary with like every ability on it. It's just a big flying Rakano monster. Going to attack Lightning Bolt. Yes. I'll just play a Scrap Tank. Scrap Tank is like pretty easy weapon bait. But I'm not sure there's much I could have done against that. Alright, they're just going to Harsh Roll. That's fine too. If I can ever get Scrap Tank back, it's still at its reduced cost, which is cool. So they're probably going to play a weapon, and then hopefully I'll be able to just play Oblivion Spike right back and kill their weapon. Yeah. It's better than the alternative. If I had just run Oblivion Spike out there, then they would have just been able to play their weapon and kill mine. But now I really want to draw some creatures to try to protect my weapon here. If I can do that, I feel like I'm in a pretty decent spot, at least until they draw their flyer. Sure, can attack twice each turn. Our weapon's done. Relic weapons are so strong. Alright, all you gotta do is attack me again, buddy. There you go. Okay. This doesn't do anything, but it gains me 5 life. So I guess I'll play it. It also means if I draw a torch, I can kill their weapon. If I can draw, like... if I can draw some... excuse me, some Grenadin. Whew, okay. Grab a cough drop here. Well, now my lightning bolt plan is out the window. Assembly line's still reasonable. So here I'm just going to assembly line, and then whatever my opponent attacks, I'm going to devour. Yeah, I think I'm dead. I don't think I can win this game. Might just have to make better decks, which would mean pack opening time. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe I'll just open up my packs today and then see what we are the closest to making. Alright, well, there's another Vara. Can't block him because I need to sack one of my guys to combust. Not like I really have any shot here. Yeah, no reason not to do this. Like, yeah, I'm just dead now to their attacks, but... oh well. You know what, let's, I've been stockpiling some packs here in Eternal. I'm just going to open up some packs. The games don't really seem to be going in my favor today. And it's a Monday. I'm a little bit out of it. Alright, Umbran Reaper. Like, I can just make an aggressive deck, I guess. Shadowlands Guide, that goes in the same deck as the Umbran Reaper, I'm pretty sure. Just like red-black aggro. But, I don't know, I was kind of trying to avoid just playing something aggressive. I didn't even read that card, but I'd never seen it before, so I figured it was bad. I had another Steward of the Past. It's a pretty good one. Scouting Party, that's a fun one. Another Shadowlands Guide. That's probably my third one of those at this point. Well, that's a legend. Draw the top spell of your deck. Deal damage to each enemy unit equal to the spell's cost. Well, that's pretty crazy. But I'm not sure it's any good. Another Champion of Chaos. That's not great after its nerf. Another legend. Your power cards have destiny. So this guy, yeah, this is like a... I've played against this before and had my opponents do some pretty crazy stuff with that. That guy's pretty cool. Thunderstrike Dragon. Could probably be playing more of him. My my Echo deck is like very light on the blue. And it also uses the white 8-drop that you get when you start the game. But that seems good. Trial of Stories, pretty terrible. Another Harsh Rule. You know what? That, I think, is actually pretty huge. That'll let me start playing some Justice control decks. It's my second Harsh Rule, but I think that goes a long way. I don't think I'm going to do anything with Enlightened Stranger. Staff of Stories is cool, but I don't think it's super playable. I don't think you want Infernus. Flying in Aegis, that's pretty expensive. This card's powerful. Especially because Bounce doesn't do anything against it. It's a pretty strong card, I think. Alright, that's nothing special. Make an Oni Ronin. The start of your turn, gain 2 life. I don't think that's good enough. Alright, another legend. Well, this card was really good, right? Is it still good? I don't know. I am not sure. Another legend. Vorprex, the Great Ruin. The enemy player must either discard their hand or sacrifice all of their units. It's probably not that great. Because they just choose whichever they don't have. Alright, how about this? Pay 4 and exhaust him to give another unit +4/+4. That seems decent. Seems pretty decent. I'm curious why I haven't seen this guy. I guess because he's in Rakano. And a deck would rather just be aggressive, and maybe there's just better cards that give reach. Like just more lightning bolts. I'm not sure how much it costs either to, like, how much Shiftstone does it cost to craft a legendary? 3,000. Okay, so I can actually make a little bit short of, actually maybe just about 6 legends here. So if I want to start crafting cards, I can potentially make a tier 1 deck at this point. I also think I have, like, some legendaries. Yeah, I've got 1 Titan, got a bunch of Varas, which is the reason that I went for that. Obviously, I've got all the Jex bounty stuff. I've got 3 Rolands also. But I don't think Roland is particularly powerful. Also have 3 Scrap Tanks. So that's why, like, you can see the legends that I opened and why I went the direction that I did. What's up, Service? Is this guy also from Jex Bounty, or did I just happen to open 4 of them? It must be from Jex Bounty, right? Huh. Doing good, Service. Not doing super hot in the games, which is why I just decided to open up some packs here as some kind of therapy, make our collection a little bit better. Ooh, Clockroach. And now I got 20,000 dust. Soulfire Drake. That's a pretty cool one in my opinion. Alright, so we got a decent amount of legends here. I'm going to hold on to the rest of my gold and use that towards drafts and stuff. Yeah, Service, what deck is good? I mean, I just opened a decent amount of cards here, so there's a few directions I can go in. I just opened my 2nd or 3rd Harsh Rule, so yeah, my 2nd Harsh Rule. I feel like similar to Hearthstone, that you probably want to save most of your dust for crafting legendaries, because those will be the hardest things to obtain. So let's take a look at this deck. Is this something up my alley? Huh. Alright, so it's got some burn elements. It's got Sandstorm Titan. What does this do? Just makes 2 owls, and that's good enough for, like, late game damage push? This deck seems very straightforward. And I have a deck that is pretty similar to this. Yeah, it's pretty much just like a standard tokens deck, just with a little bit more burn. I probably should just craft Sandstorm Titans, because this card is just like super powerful. And you do think Great Parliament is... I mean, I guess are you playing green more for the Stand Together or for the Great Parliament? Because this card seems... I mean, I guess it's good. I guess at the very least it's a 4-mana 4/4 flyer. And sometimes it's just a 4-mana 8/8 flyer. Yeah, there's some anti-synergy, obviously, with Darude and Great Parliament. I mean, I could build this deck. I have the technology, and I also pretty much already have that deck. I made mine a little bit different. Oh, I do have my Sandstorm Titan in it. I mean, Sandstorm Titan seems like the most obvious card to go ahead and craft. Card is just like, look at, okay, 5-6 endurance compared to, yeah, like 3-4 overwhelm. Card's busted. There's obviously, like, it's not like strictly better than, where is it, Zen Guardian, because this can become an 8-8, obviously. Okay. If Parliament's cuttable. So this is the deck that I was working with for a little bit here. I just thought it was kind of a fun thing here. Oh, I don't know why there's only one Arcana Monter in it. I guess I only added in the second one, or the first one, once I completed that quest. But yeah. Xenon Obelisk I recognize as a pretty powerful card. I guess I could craft more of those. And then Vault of Praxis seems good. Which is broken service. The Titan. I agree. But you see, my deck is like a little bit more aggressive, and I think probably bad for that. You know what? I definitely changed this deck once. I think it didn't save. Well, that's probably why, because I hit no on the save there. Yeah, I can definitely soup this deck up, though. Okay, yeah, Titan is broken. I agree. Where do I see how much Shift Stone I have? Oh, so I guess I just have this much Shift Stone, and this is how much more I can make. I guess you just open up Shift Stone in packs sometimes. Before you just log on, I think, let's see how good we can make a deck using just, like, my current collection. So what if we try to make a similar deck here? I don't have 4 ofs of all the cards. Really think it's like gotta be horrible value to craft commons, right? Yeah, that's 1/4. What is this? Also 1/4? No, oh, this is 1/100th. It's one, but you only lose 49 gold. And I wasn't sure if... Oh, interesting. This deck is playing Talir's Favored and Amber Acolyte, but it's not playing Initiative of the Sands. Okay, you get 100 Shift Stone per pack regardless. That's pretty sweet. How many clock roaches do I have? I got 3. Well, that's pretty awkward. Yeah, I don't know if I want to, like, build and play Rakano. I definitely also have, like, all of the cards for, or at least I think I have a lot of the cards. Like, I've got 4 Knife Jacks. I don't know what else goes in this deck. Maybe Annihilates. I don't know, but you guys have like seen decks like this, I'm sure. Yeah, you play all the Shadowland guides, right? Oh, you also play that 2 mana 3, 2. So I guess I'd have to craft those. 8. Yeah, Argenport Instigator. And then it's like a 5 mana flyer. I got 2 of those. Here's the champions that I own. Is this right? Yeah, it's true. They do provide the thin. But I'm surprised that, yeah, you wouldn't just go with... I don't know what your... Okay, here's all my champions now. Okay. 3-3. I don't know if you were looking for how many champions of cunning I have, maybe? But it looks like I've got about 3 of all of them. Yeah, Stone Scar Burn seems like pretty powerful, but also not super fun. I worry that if I try to play like control decks, that I won't have the same late game that other people do. One thing, like, the one deck that I do play mostly is because I have 3 Varas and I've got 3 Scrap Tanks. Now, whether they're both, like, actually that playable, that's left to be determined. They seem good. Vara's got, like, some pretty insane late-game stuff that it can pull off. Scrap Tank's decent, like, in the mid-game. So here's a deck that I have been messing around with for the most part. Yeah, so it's got some combusts, obviously a bunch of creatures to be able to sacrifice. I don't know if all of the numbers are right. Sometimes it feels like it needs a little bit more kill spells. But it's basically around those 2. And I might have another Oblivion Spike. Yeah, go ahead, man. Make any suggestions you want. I'm down to, like, if I'm very close to... If there's a tier 1 deck that I'm, like, pretty close to being able to make... that also seems fun, I would go for that. I am, in general, pretty hesitant on spending dust in games, but want to break that a little bit. Yeah, focus my attention on just one particular deck. I do like this one a lot. So I would say Open the Vaults and GG Devour are like the 2 main decks that I play, and the rest are mostly there. They exist to like complete quests. This is when I have to play Justice Sigils. This is when I have to win with... Or I'm sorry, Primal Sigils. This is when I have to win with Justice decks. I do like this one. Give it a shot. I'm also pretty low ranked. Like, I'm only silver right now. I've only gotten a gold every season. Haven't, like, really tried to climb. Yeah, maybe I'll give... I like that you called it a Naya tokens deck. I'm going to just do a little bit more research. I'll throw that on the screen again so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. I am just going to do a little bit more research about this deck off stream. It helps that they gave everybody 4 Arcanum Minotaurs. That's pretty helpful. Sandstorm Titan is also like the most obvious legend to play, so I like that. Or, I'm sorry, to craft. So, I don't mind that aspect of the deck. I'm just going to do a little bit more research before I craft the Great Parliament. Mostly just, like, I don't want to craft it if this is the only deck that it goes in. I'd much rather start off by crafting, like, the most ubiquitous legends, which I think makes sense. Because I can only craft about, maybe, what was the number I said? 6, so 7 or 8 legends total. It's that good? Huh, my opponent's got some interesting stuff going on over here. Oh, it's the second most needed to craft card. I'm gonna skip past this country song. All these songs are pretty corny, but I don't need to listen to royalty-free country. What did they do here? They play a Xenon Obelisk? Yes, they did. Alright, let's just play Steward of the Past for this turn, and then next turn I'll probably Annihilate and swing in. Yeah, I don't actually really even play green-white ever, but maybe it would give me a good direction to go for in green-white at the very least. Let's attack, no double block, alright. Kind of in an awkward spot once my opponent hits 8 here. Alright, well now I guess I'm just annihilating this. I also don't have to be an aggro deck. I can win the late game here. Maybe I should just be playing for the late game more. But I can get some damage in while I can. Oh, there's an import feature in this? That's pretty cool. So I assume I copy it to clipboard, and then there'll be a way to just paste it right on in. Cool. Alright, they double blocked my guy. That's fine. Cool. Oh, that was real quick. BRB back immediately. So, we kind of represented that we were like an aggressive deck here, but our opponent is not super close to winning. We can just make blocks and stay in this for a while, and once we get Vara online, we get Steward back, we can start looping our Slumbering Stone. So I think we're actually in a fine spot this game, and we can win with these Slumbering Stones eventually. Do you know this guy? You gave him this deck list as well? Train secrets across enemy lines here. Let's kill this thing. And then let's go for the things that have higher attack than health. Do we have to play around a instant speed temporary +1/+1? I honestly don't think that we do. If we lose here because of that, like, I think that's a risk I'm willing to make. I don't think that he has it here. So we're taking 4, trading off with some stuff. Alright, he baited me for a second. Well, I'm already master's level in Gauntlet, so unfortunately I cannot do that anymore. And then I draw my scrap tanks. How unlucky. Okay. My opponent doesn't have any good attacks now, so we can just crash. My opponent has not had any removal spells so far. Oh, they hit their 8th sigil. That's fine. Yeah, let's just block there. So now I'm just going to start playing super defensively. And it's going to be really hard for my opponent to break through this now. Oh, a torch. I think torch means I can just crash here, but I don't need to. So I'm not blocking with this. I'm going to triple block on one, block the other, torch the other. Alright, we're not blocking with this. What if he draws a +2/+2? Oh, well, I guess I already attacked. My opponent draws a +2/+2. If I really need to, I can lightning bolt one of my own guys. Nactyl. Alright, next turn I've got Vara online. I think I can survive till then. If I have Obsidian Armor, is that good for me? Alright, let's hold here. Next turn we've got Vara. Let's hold our horses. I'm gonna torch. Reason is, if we draw Vara, or if we draw a land, we're just gonna play Vara. We're not gonna be able to torch out. Alright, let's try to main phase something. Yeah, double scrap tank is pretty good. I like this deck a lot because it can transition pretty flawlessly from an aggressive deck to a controlling deck, and then just have a great late game here too. Alright, my opponent's going to get probably a Death Toucher from this. No, they're going to go for a flyer. Okay, that's fine too. So pretty sure I just go for Slumbering Stones here. I could have swung with a scrap tank first, actually. Maybe that was better. Alright, my opponent's got me on a, like, 3 or 4 turn clock. That's pretty safe. Alright, that's why we go and grab this. So now I can sacrifice this to turn it into 2 guys. That's going to give me 9 9s as well. That's got to be good enough. Narsif, thank you very much for the follow. Let's grab a Dark Wisp here on the first one, and then grab the Slumbering Stone again. Alright, now our board's full up, which is pretty good. I kind of want to start sending with these 9 9s. Can also like just send with a 1/1 pretty freely. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on sending with the 9 9s yet. Let's just send in the 1/1s, and then that'll grow these guys if my opponent blocks. If they don't block, yeah. Keep the tanks protected. Now if we draw any more units, we just get to like draw cards and buff our guys automatically, because we can only have 12 creatures out, so we'll have to start sacrificing our creatures. And That'll give us some huge monsters pretty quickly here. Alright, this will buff the tanks as well. Maybe he's got a pump here, but I can't really afford to play around it. He could also have just drawn a lightning bolt. This is still going to give me 13 13s. So both of these are now lethal. This can't kill me for another few attacks. And then if he's able to kill one of these, we still get to bring it back post-combat. Alright, that's just going to make him pop there. So yeah, we had like pretty much lethal creatures, and then we were able to get them back with our guy. Alright, I'm going to play this deck again, and hopefully we can win our second game in a row here. And that'll be pretty sweet. So I can quarry... You know what? This hand's good. I'm going to keep this hand here. Yeah, I think Vera's super strong. Or Vara. I thought that was going to turn into a different song for a second there. I got super quiet. Thought it was going to turn into... I guess it's a song that gets... maybe it's on the Cutie Pie videos? Wait, did I just lead with this sigil? Sorry about that. Wasn't super paying attention there. Doesn't it sound like... Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. That's just how it starts. Cool. We can annihilate this. I'm not sure we need to annihilate anything just yet. Quarry into Devour. That seems good. And we have 1 mana open to use Devour. Seems like a pretty good use of Devour here. I'm going to block and do it up. You know what? I'm not. Because it's just going to be so much better when we can Devour with these other monsters in play. And with it only costing 1 mana, I don't think that's going to be too big of an issue. That was probably bad sequencing there. I think I'm just going to try to win this game here, and then call it a stream after that service. But you know what? I could do 1 game, assuming I win this one. Yeah, sure. I'll play you just to get a look at your deck and see what it's all up to. Let's make a big monster and try to hit our land drop. I could have attacked first. I should have attacked first. Alright. Yeah. He was just going to trade, but we could have gotten him 1 point of damage. Probably just going to torch this, but we'll see what happens. Oh, that's definitely up to you. I would not mind it though. Yeah, if you want to stick around for a little bit, yeah, after this game, that'd be sweet. Just to get a look at it. Cool. Alright, just need a 5th sigil here. At some point, we do just Devour this Obsidian Golem so that we can play that sigil. My opponent's got 7 sigils out. Alright, I'm going to Devour this. Really want to hit our land drops here. Sure. Let's make a 7/7 and start crashing. No! Alright, let's Lightning Bolt. That's why they got all that mana over there. Alright, Zen and Obelisk. Now their guy's out of Lightning Bolt range. Should have killed it while I had the chance. Just immediately a +2/+2. We'll attack again. Are they going to try to throw another little beetle at us? Another wasp? That's what it is. I think they are. Alright, this is still in Lightning Bolt range though, luckily enough. And I am going to Lightning Bolt this guy here. So my opponent doesn't have much. I've only got 3 cards left. Harsh Rule! That's harsh. Well, no, I wish I'd saved my Lightning Bolts. And then they're going to immediately play 2 creatures. Okay. Well, we are 1 mana off on just completely refueling our board here. So you know what? And my opponent's got no cards? Okay. You know what? I think we can actually do this. Let's Annihilate here. That's going to buy us the most time. And we still have a Combust waiting in the wings. I have not yet seen green-white or green-yellow Zen and Obelisk deck. I'm going to say no blocks and Death Strike post-combat. Okay. Just like a little bit safer. Cool. We've got a Combust for whatever their next threat is. And then we get to start going crazy. We're only going to play 1 Vara ever. And the second Vara is going to be used to get back the first one. Should we need to. Opponent can probably actually just beat us by playing a Wasp and just attacking us in the air 3 times. Sure. Okay. It's going to Silent Scrap Tank, Chump Block Vara, and then Lightning Bolt Vara? Huh. Interesting. Do I want to save Combust? I think I do. So I can trade one of my Grenadins to Combust this. Or I can just trade all 3 into it, and then I still have Combust if my opponent is able to draw a big monster later on. Alright, let's smash. My opponent's got to have more ambush creatures, right? Nope, they're chump blocking. Going down to 1, okay. I think this means my opponent has another Harsh Rule here. But they're at 1. So they need a Harsh Rule, then I'm going to Vara, bring back Dark Wisp. Alright, looks like we got there. And that is 2 games in a row in Versus Battle. Even though it took us like 4 games, we did eventually get there. We'll get a chest, and then we will get another gold chest. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, I was saying it earlier. I think that by doing any gold quests that you get, I think it makes you more likely to get more gold quests. But I'm not sure. Alright, if you want to add me service, I am NoLuxGiven 7192. If you want to send a ad request. Okie dokie. Probably only going to play 1 game, so hopefully we can make it a good one, and then I'm going to wrap up the stream here. So, thank you guys very much for watching, those of you that are watching right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can catch me live on twitch.tv/NoLucksGiven. And if you're watching on Twitch, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel in the feed below the stream. Just click on that info tab there. On my YouTube channel, I upload all past stream VODs, as well as highlight clips, things like that, and some tutorials and more informative things to come in the future. Other than that, thanks for watching. We'll be done here as soon as we can get Service to play us. Alternatively, if you want to... Oh, there it is. Cool. And let's send you a challenge here. Alright, just don't look at my hand, because then there's no way I can win. His hand's a little bit slow. It's definitely not great against a tokens deck, but we'll get to hit all of our land drops. Here's the thing, we do know our opponent is playing a tokens deck, though this is good against the one card. Alright, let's keep. Alright, Service is going to mulligan. We do know that he is playing a Naya tokens deck list that he sent us over early on. I meant to import that into my client, but I'll make sure I get to do that after this game. Alright, Temple Scribe. That's not a big deal. Probably just want to pressure his life total. My life total is going to matter more eventually. Okay, he's definitely not going to block because his guys are just going to get bigger as we go later into the game. Ooh, assembly line. That's pretty good. And he's not attacking with Temple Scribe either. It's kind of curious. Either he'd attack or he'd block, I'd figure. Alright, he's going to double block both of them. I'm just going to sacrifice this and draw some cards. No crazy shenanigans here. Alright, and a Thorn Beast that now I cannot pump up. But that's fine. There's also a chance, like, I just want to hang on to my creatures longer. There's a chance that's true. But a 3/3 Thorn Beast is almost as good as a 4/4 and there's a Sandstorm Titan. That's definitely going to get Death Stricken. In the meantime, let's play a Soul Collector so that this can get a little bit of a little boosty boost. Alright, just no... Okay, yeah, that was the other reason that I kept the Death Strike. No blocks. We're going to take 12 here. Go down to 12. Maybe a Scrap Tank for now. Scrap Tank means I can... I don't know. You know what? I think I'm just going to want to keep open Death Strike mana. So if I keep open Death Strike mana, I Death Strike this. This becomes a 2/2. I block Temple Scribe. Alright, yeah, these are all good plays for my opponent here. So I Death Strike. I block Temple Scribe. I take 7, go down to 5. Now this turn I'm going to play Scrap Tank and hopefully draw some more. That's not a great draw. But I can chump block this, block 3 of these, and take 2 here. So dead to Lightning Bolt, obviously. Always dead to Lightning Bolt. Been dead to Lightning Bolt this entire game. But now I get to start scrapping up. And now I get to pull away from him a little bit here. Obviously, Undead Danny burn, and he obliterates, which we know he's got a decent amount of in his deck from the list that he showed us earlier. At some point, I do just want to sacrifice this Soul Collector. Let me take a look at his deck list real quick, and I'll pull it up on the screen. So here's his deck list again, Naya tokens. Oh, maybe he's just looking for the last red mana. Well, that's just always going to kill us. He's probably just sitting on 4 Flame Blasts without the mana to play them. Or he's sitting on some Great Parliament. I don't know. I don't know what he could have other than just some Flame Blast, to be honest. So the thing is, like, at some point I can sacrifice this Soul Collector. Let's swing with 2 guys for now. We're going to do 1 turn where we attack with 2 guys. He's going to let that damage go through. I'm going to say, okay. Obsidian Golem. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers to his 6 attackers. And I'm going to hold on to Thorn Beast. Alright, that's still not the last red mana that he needs. Well, that means sacrificing Soul Collector becomes a lot more live. I did that in kind of a bad order. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Start smashing with a few more of these things then. Yeah. It's just going to let the damage go through. That amount of damage is also negligible. And then we're going to get back a 4-4. So we still lose to him drawing a red Power Sigil, for sure. Alright. Death Touch. No flying. Alright, his life total's high enough that he wants a flyer for himself. Oh, Sandstorm Titan's in play. Oh, that was a mistake. Well, this is pretty good if we draw Vara. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can freely swing with 2 guys. Yeah. He's definitely looking for that 3rd red at this point. We can hope that his 3rd red mana comes in depleted, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Alright. We're going to give it one more chance here. Or a little bit more time is what I meant to say. Alright, that's his 3rd red mana, and here's an 8 damage burn spell to the face in Flame Blast. Eventually he got there. Good game service. Yeah, it's a sweet deck, and the burn is pretty strong. Might be a little bit difficult on that 3x flame requirement. But let's take a look here. Now, he's got access to 11. That's actually a little light. 11 out of his... or 13, rather. 13 out of his 25 mana. So, on average, yeah, he's going to hit this by about the 6th or 7th mana. I guess that's about what you're asking for out of this card. It's just, you just want some burn to be able to finish your opponent off. Yeah, I guess Flame Blast is a pretty good card. Alright, that's going to be the end of my stream here. Thank you guys very much for watching. Service, thank you for showing off your deck, and thank you for the game. As soon as I can figure out how to send a message in here. Oh, he's no longer online. That makes sense. Okay. thank you guys very much for watching, and yeah, that's going to be it for me. I won't be back on tomorrow. I don't stream on Tuesdays, but I will be back the rest of the week. I am not exactly sure what I'm going to be playing. Maybe some Eternal, maybe some Hearthstone, maybe some Magic the Gathering Online. Probably a mix of all three. But I do know I want to play a little bit more with Ungoro, because that just got released. Just knew today was going to be a little bit shorter of a stream. I'll also probably be looking to make some Eternal decks while I am offline. So we'll see what I can come to with that. Also have enough to do about 10 drafts here, so at some point we will get to those as well. That is pretty much it. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that follow button. Follow me on YouTube as well, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Peace. Bye.